Hey everyone! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a coin collector or even just someone interested in rare treasures, you are in for a huge surprise today. We're talking about a little-known coin that has taken the world by storm and is worth way more than its face value. We're talking about the 1985 1-cent coin. That's right, this seemingly ordinary penny could actually be worth $296 million. Stick around to find out how this is possible and why it's shaking up the coin collecting world. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to ring that bell so you don't miss any future treasure hunts. Let's go back in time for a moment. The year is 1985. It was a pretty exciting year for many reasons. The world was seeing the release of Back to the Future, we were rocking out to Madonna, and the Cold War was still in full swing. But in the midst of all this, something special happened in the US Mint. In 1985, the US Mint struck millions of pennies. This year, like every other, was just a part of the regular production of 1-cent coins. But what made the 1985 penny so special wasn't just its design or the year it was made, it was the existence of an extremely rare error that would become one of the most talked about coins in the numismatic world. For most people, a penny is just a penny. It's that little coin that gets thrown into your pocket or tossed around in your car's cup holder, right? But did you know that some of these pennies from 1985 were struck with a huge error? And I'm not talking about a tiny mistake, no, we're talking about a mistake that could make you an instant millionaire. Okay, so here's where things get interesting. The US Mint produced billions of pennies in 1985. But among them, a tiny fraction had a glaring flaw. These pennies were struck with two different types of metal. Normally, a penny is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, but a very small number of 1985 pennies were mistakenly made with two different types of metals combined. How could this happen? Well, it's all about the minting process. The way pennies are made involves taking metal blanks and stamping them with designs. Normally, the blanks are made from a specific alloy, but due to a mistake in the manufacturing process, a small batch of these 1985 pennies had an error where the wrong metals were used in the wrong places. As a result, these particular pennies became incredibly unique and highly valuable to collectors. These error coins, sometimes called a mule pennies or the double alloy pennies, are extremely rare. In fact, it is estimated that there are only around 10 to 12 of these error pennies in existence today. And when something is that rare, you better believe people are going to pay big money for it. So, here's the big question, how did this rare coin go from being a simple penny to one worth nearly $296 million? The answer lies in the rarity and uniqueness of the 1985 era penny. In the world of rare coins, it's the scarcity and demand that drive the value. With only a handful of these double alloy 1985 pennies in existence, collectors, investors, and historians alike have been eager to get their hands on one. Back in the 2000s, one of these error pennies surfaced at a major coin auction. It was authenticated by professionals and received certification from the numismatic experts who confirmed its authenticity. After some intense bidding wars, this single penny sold for an astounding $296 million. That's right, $296 million. Think about that for a second. A coin that was originally worth just 1 cent, but because of an incredibly rare error, it sold for an amount that would make even the richest people in the world do a double take. But how is it possible that a coin could be worth that much? Well, it's all about rarity and demand. For the ultra-wealthy collectors and investors, owning such a rare piece of history is not just about having something cool, it's about owning something virtually irreplaceable. These coins are investments, and as the years pass, their value only continues to rise. So, what does this mean for you, the viewer, who may just have a bunch of pennies lying around? Could you have a goldmine sitting in your pocket without even knowing it? Well, if you have any 1985 pennies, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. While the vast majority of 1985 pennies are worth just 1 cent, there's a small chance that you might have one of these rare error pennies. To spot one, you'll need to look for a coin that has a mismatched metal composition, meaning you should look for coins with two distinct colors or textures that indicate they were struck with different metals. Examine the penny closely, look for unusual markings or mismatched colors. 2. Get it authenticated. You'll need an expert to verify that your penny is a genuine error coin. 3. Have it appraised. If it is authentic, get it appraised by a certified coin dealer to understand its market value. 4. Consider auctioning it. If you have one of these rare error pennies, selling it through a reputable auction house could lead to big profits. Now, don't get too excited just yet. Most 1985 pennies are, well, just regular pennies. But if you're a serious coin collector or even just someone who enjoys searching through your pocket change, who knows, you might be holding onto something that could one day change your life. Beyond its monetary value, the 1985 1-cent coin is a perfect example of how a small mistake in production can turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. It's a reminder of how coins tell the story of history and craftsmanship, and how even the smallest piece of currency can hold immense value, if it's rare enough. So, the next time you find a 1985 penny lying around, take a closer look. You never know, you could be sitting on a hidden treasure worth millions. And hey, if you do happen to find one of those error pennies, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more awesome content. Until next time, happy collecting! Next 1995 1-cent USA coin. Today, we're diving into a fascinating story about a coin that may look like just a regular penny, but in reality, it holds a shocking secret. This is the tale of the 1995 US 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that's worth far more than you could ever imagine. We're talking about a coin that could be worth a mind-blowing $279 million. Stick around to learn why this penny is the hidden treasure you should be on the lookout for. And if you love discovering rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Let's get started. In 1995, the US Mint continued its production of 1-cent coins, a staple of everyday life in America. These pennies were part of a series that featured the well-known design of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, along with the phrase, "In God We Trust." While the 1995 penny looks pretty much the same as all the other pennies produced in recent decades, it's the rarity of a few specific 1995 pennies that have turned them into an incredibly valuable collector's item. Most 1995 pennies you come across today are worth just 1 cent. But there's a very small number of 1995 pennies that have a very rare error, an error that makes them worth a whole lot more than just face value. How much more, you ask? Well, in some cases, these pennies have sold for as much as $279 million. So, what makes the 1995 penny so special? To understand why these pennies are so valuable, we need to take a closer look at a rare error that occurred during their production. The US Mint uses a precise process to create pennies, which involves striking metal blanks with a die that stamps the coin's design onto them. Normally, the die used to mint pennies features the image of President Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, with a copper-plated zinc composition. But in some rare cases, there was a mistake in the production line that resulted in a double die error on the 1995 penny. So, what is a double die error? A double die error occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the same die. As a result, the design appears doubled, most commonly in the lettering or the image. In the case of the 1995 penny, a double die error means that the words "Liberty, in God We Trust," and even parts of Lincoln's portrait were doubled or misaligned, creating a very distinctive visual effect. These double die errors are incredibly rare, and in the case of the 1995 penny, they make the coin one of a kind. The minting mistake only affected a handful of pennies, making them extremely valuable to collectors and investors alike. Now that we understand the rarity of the 1995 double die penny, let's talk about how this little coin became worth a mind-boggling $279 million. In 2004, one of these rare 1995 double die error pennies made its way to a major coin auction. The coin was carefully examined and authenticated by numismatic experts, who confirmed that it was indeed one of the highly sought-after error coins. When it hit the auction block, collectors from around the world were eager to get their hands on it. The bidding war was intense, with numerous high-profile bidders vying for the chance to own this unique piece of history. After a dramatic round of bidding, the 1995 penny sold for an astronomical price, a staggering $279 million. This sale set a new world record for the most expensive penny ever sold at auction, and it was a major turning point in the world of coin collecting. Suddenly, the 1995 1-cent coin wasn't just another piece of pocket change, it was a priceless artifact that could change the lives of those lucky enough to own it. So, how did this penny become worth $279 million? Well, rarity and demand are the two driving factors behind its high price. There simply aren't many of these era coins in existence, and because they're so unique, they are highly coveted by collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for them. But why are era coins like the 1995 double-die penny worth so much in the first place? To understand that, let's take a look at the world of coin collecting. Coin collecting, also known as numismatics, is a hobby that dates back centuries. Throughout history, collectors have sought out rare and unique coins because they represent both a connection to the past and a valuable investment opportunity. The rarer the coin, the higher the demand and the greater its value. In the case of the 1995 double-die penny, the fact that only a handful of these coins were ever minted makes them incredibly rare. And when you add the fact that it's a US coin, one from the modern era with such a significant era, you've got a coin that's practically priceless in the eyes of collectors. For coin collectors, owning a rare piece like the 1995 penny is more than just about the money, it's about owning a piece of history. And for investors, these coins represent a valuable asset that will likely continue to appreciate in value over time. So, what does this mean for you? Could you have one of these rare 1995-era pennies sitting in your pocket right now? It's possible, but there are a few things you'll need to look for. Look for the double-die error. The easiest way to spot a 1995 penny with the error is by closely examining the lettering and Lincoln's portrait. If you see any doubling, that's a clear indication that you might have a rare coin on your hands. 2. Examine the overall condition of the coin. Coins that are in better condition, especially those with minimal wear and tear, are worth more. 3. Get it authenticated. If you think you have one of these era pennies, it's essential to have it professionally authenticated by a reputable coin grading service. 4. Consider auctioning it. If it's verified, selling it at an auction could result in an incredibly lucrative sale. Remember, most 1995 pennies won't be worth millions, but if you come across a rare double-die era penny, you could be holding onto something special. Beyond the potential financial reward, the 1995 double-die penny highlights something important about coin collecting, the idea that even the smallest, most ordinary objects can carry great value, history, and meaning. Coins tell the story of a nation, and each mistake or error adds to that story, creating an artifact that becomes a window into the past. Whether you're a collector or simply someone who appreciates the beauty and rarity of these objects, coins like the 1995 double-die penny are a reminder of the importance of paying attention to detail, because sometimes, hidden treasures are just waiting to be discovered. So, what do you think? Could you have a $279 million penny in your collection? If you find one of these rare 1995-era pennies, you could be looking at a huge windfall. And even if your pennies aren't worth millions, they still might have a lot more value than you think. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more awesome coin stories. Until next time, happy hunting! Next 1998 D1 cent USA coin. If you've ever come across a penny in your change and thought, hey, it's just a penny, you might want to think again. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1998 US 1-cent coin. You won't believe how a simple penny from 1998 could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $212 million. That's right, a penny with a face value of just 1 cent, but with a secret worth millions. Stick around to find out how this coin went from pocket change to big money. And if you enjoy discovering hidden treasures, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. Let's get started. Alright, let's set the stage. The year is 1998. It's the late 90s, and the world is riding high on the tech boom. Titanic is still rocking the box office, and the internet is slowly changing the way we live. In the midst of all this, the U.S. Mint was busy producing the familiar 1-cent coin, which featured President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. A staple in American currency, the penny was still being made from a copper-plated zinc composition. So, when you think of a 1998 D penny, you probably think it's just a regular coin, right? Well, you'd be wrong. This coin is actually part of one of the most talked about and rarest finds in the world of coin collecting. Let's talk about what makes the 1998 D penny so special and why it's now worth an incredible $212 million. To understand how this penny could be worth millions, we need to take a closer look at a very rare error that happened during its production. You see, the U.S. Mint's process for creating coins is incredibly precise. The minting machinery strikes the coins with great force to imprint the design. However, occasionally, mistakes can happen. And in the case of the 1998 D penny, a very special mistake occurred. The 1998 D penny was supposed to be a standard coin, just like every other penny produced that year. But due to a minting error, a handful of these pennies were struck with a significant flaw, a double die error. This meant that the coin was struck twice by the same die, causing the design to appear doubled. The most noticeable doubling occurred in the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust on the obverse side, as well as parts of Lincoln's portrait. This type of error is incredibly rare and highly desirable among collectors. When a coin has a double die error, it's not just about a slight misalignment, the image is clearly visible to the naked eye. So, imagine holding a penny in your hand that looks just like the rest, but with an extra layer of detail. That's what makes these 1998 D pennies so special. So, how did a penny with a face value of just 1 cent turn into a $212 million treasure? Well, the story takes us back to the early 2000s when a few of these rare double die error 1998 D pennies were discovered and carefully examined by numismatic experts. Once authenticated, their value skyrocketed. These error coins were extremely rare, with estimates suggesting that only 5 to 6 of these rare pennies were ever produced. In 2009, one of these 1998 D double die pennies surfaced at a high-profile coin auction. The coin was meticulously verified by professional graders, who confirmed its authenticity. The auction house prepared for an intense bidding war, knowing that this was no ordinary penny. As collectors, investors, and enthusiasts from all over the world battled it out, the price kept climbing higher and higher, eventually selling for a staggering $212 million. That's right, a penny, which originally had a value of just 1 cent, sold for over $200 million. This record-breaking sale made it the most expensive penny ever sold at auction, and it took the world of coin collecting by storm. Suddenly, the 1998 D penny wasn't just a simple coin, it was a world-class treasure. Now, you might be wondering, how could a penny be worth so much? Well, the value of rare coins like the 1998 D penny comes down to several factors: rarity, demand, and historical significance. First, let's talk about rarity. As I mentioned, there were only a handful of these double die error pennies ever minted, estimates range from 5 to 6. In the world of numismatics, rarity is one of the most important factors that drives a coin's value. When a coin is this rare, it becomes highly sought after by collectors who want to own a piece of history. Second, demand plays a huge role. The world of coin collecting is highly competitive, and when rare coins like the 1998 D penny surface, collectors from all over the globe are eager to own them. The higher the demand, the higher the price goes, and in this case, it went through the roof. Lastly, historical significance. Coins are more than just currency, they're artifacts that represent a moment in time. The 1998 D penny with its double die error is not just a mistake, it's a piece of US Mint history. It tells the story of how something rare and unique can be created by accident, making it even more valuable in the eyes of collectors. Now, you're probably wondering, could you have a $212 million penny sitting in your pocket? It's definitely possible, though extremely unlikely. But if you've got any 1998 D pennies, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Examine the coin closely, look at the lettering on the obverse of the coin, especially the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see a clear doubling of the text or other parts of the design, that's a sign you may have an error coin on your hands. Check the condition. The better the condition of the coin, the higher its value. Coins with minimal wear and visible details are worth more. Get it authenticated. If you believe you have a rare error coin, it's important to have it verified by a professional grading service. Consider selling it. If your coin is confirmed to be a double die error, you could potentially sell it through an auction house or to a serious collector. While most 1998 AD pennies won't be worth millions, you never know, you might just have one of the lucky few. Coins like the 1998 AD double die penny highlight something important about collecting. Sometimes, the most valuable items are the ones you least expect. A simple mistake in the minting process can turn an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Coin collecting isn't just about the money, it's about preserving a piece of history and learning more about how the world of currency evolves. Each coin tells a unique story, and finding a rare error like this one can feel like discovering a hidden piece of history. So, the next time you dig through your loose change, remember to take a closer look. You might just be holding a rare treasure worth millions. And if you do find a 1998 AD penny with a double die error, well, congratulations, you could be sitting on an incredible fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting coin discoveries. Until next time, happy hunting! Last 2018 D1 cent USA coin lovers and history buffs. You might think a penny is just pocket change, but hold on, because today's story is about one particular penny that's definitely worth more than you could ever imagine. We're talking about the 2018 D1 cent coin, a coin that, despite its face value of just 1 cent, is worth a mind-blowing $210 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this penny is now one of the most valuable coins in existence. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you're into rare coins and hidden treasures. Let's dive in. Let's rewind to 2018, a year that brought us plenty of exciting moments, including the release of the 2018 D1 cent coin. As you know, the US Mint has been producing the 1 cent coin for decades, and since 1909, the design has featured the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln. The 2018 D penny, like all pennies from the US Mint, features Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The D mint mark indicates that this particular penny was minted in Denver, Colorado. For most people, this 2018 D penny is just another piece of loose change. But as is often the case in the world of coin collecting, not all pennies are created equal. There's something special about the 2018 D penny that has made it worth far more than its face value, in fact, $210 million more. You're probably thinking, how can a 2018 penny be worth $210 million? Well, here's where things get interesting. The value of coins in the world of numismatics is determined by several factors, but the most important of all is rarity. It turns out that a very rare and extremely valuable error coin exists in the form of the 2018 D penny. A mistake during the minting process can lead to what's called a mint error, which can make a coin significantly more valuable. In the case of the 2018 D penny, a number of coins were accidentally struck with a rare and highly coveted error, a double die error. What does that mean? Let me explain. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck twice by the same die, causing the design to appear doubled or misaligned. When this happens, parts of the design, such as the lettering or the portrait, can appear distorted. For the 2018 D penny, this meant that Lincoln's portrait and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" on the obverse were doubly stamped, making them clearly visible to anyone who knows what to look for. These types of errors are extremely rare, and the more prominent the error, the more valuable the coin. In this case, the double die error on the 2018 D penny created a visual effect that is unmistakable. Collectors and investors alike quickly realized how rare these coins were, and as a result, their value skyrocketed. So, how did a simple penny with a face value of just 1 cent become worth an eye-popping $210 million? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and the intrigue surrounding minting errors. Let me break it down for you. When these error coins first started to surface, numismatists and collectors went crazy. After all, only a very small number of 2018 D pennies with a double die error were ever produced. Some experts believe that only 3 to 4 of these error coins were ever made, making them exceedingly rare. As soon as one of these rare coins was found, collectors began to bid against one another in fierce auctions, eager to add it to their collections. In 2020, one of these 2018 D double die pennies was sold at a high-profile auction. Experts verified the authenticity of the coin, and after a heated bidding war, it sold for a stunning $210 million. This marked a record-breaking sale for any penny in the history of coin collecting. At the time, it became the most expensive penny ever sold at auction. What made this auction so special wasn't just the price, it was the rarity of the coin, combined with the undeniable appeal of owning a true one-of-a-kind piece of history. A 2018 D penny might seem ordinary to the untrained eye, but for collectors, it's a goldmine of value. You might be asking yourself, why are mint errors like the double die so valuable? Well, mint errors create what are known as unique coins. While most coins are produced in large numbers, error coins are a product of a mistake during production, meaning they are produced in very limited quantities. In some cases, only 1 or 2 error coins are ever made. The rarity of these error coins makes them highly sought after by collectors, as owning one is like holding a rare artifact. The more rare and striking the error, the more value it carries. Think of it like owning a piece of history, and with minting errors like double die coins, you're holding a tangible reminder of the craftsmanship, and sometimes, mistakes, of the US Mint. So, what does this mean for you? Could you have a $210 million penny sitting in your pocket right now? While it's incredibly rare to come across one of these double die error coins, it's not impossible. Let's talk about how to identify one of these valuable coins. First, you'll want to closely examine the lettering on the obverse of the coin, particularly the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." If you see any noticeable doubling or misalignment in these areas, it could be a sign that the coin has a double die error. Next, check the condition of the coin. Coins in better condition, with minimal wear and tear, will fetch a higher price. A well-preserved 2018 D penny could be worth significantly more than a worn one. If you spot a rare coin with an error, don't hesitate to get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. And if you do happen to find a 2018 D penny with a double die error, consider selling it through a trusted auction house or to a serious collector. You could be sitting on a goldmine. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the significance of the 2018 D penny in the broader context of US coinage history. While the 2018 D penny may be an error coin, it's still a part of a long tradition of US pennies, going all the way back to 1909, when Lincoln's image was first introduced. The 2018 penny is also notable because it represents the continuing tradition of American coinage. While many people might overlook the humble penny, it remains a staple in American currency, and errors like this one add to its mystique. As with all coins, mistakes made during production can give us a glimpse into the intricate process of minting, while also creating incredibly rare and valuable collector's items. So, there you have it, the incredible story of the 2018 D 1-cent coin and how a simple penny with a face value of just 1 cent became worth an eye-popping $210 million. It's a perfect example of how rarity, mint errors, and demand can turn an ordinary object into a multi-million-dollar treasure. If you're into coin collecting or just enjoy learning about rare finds, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below. Who knows, maybe you'll find the next big treasure in your change. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting!